Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, where I try to share with you my simple and humble reflections on the daily Mass readings with the hope that this will help you and me in our spiritual journey, in making connection with the divine, and ultimately even having a friendship with God. And if you would interested to subscribe to this channel, you may please go to the end of the video, and when you find my picture there, you may please click on that and you will find an option to subscribe for it. And if you like the video, you may also please share it with others so that others also take advantage of it. Thank you. As you see today, once again, I'm outside, and in the background there is a little hill and a lot of trees there. Why I am talking about the hill, actually this place is surrounded by hills and mountains, and I go every day for walks in the mountains. Not very high mountains in this area, but here, you know, this country is famous for Alps and big mountains and lakes. Is a beautiful country. But the reason I am talking about mountains and hills is because, as the reading says, the first reading from the first book of Kings, it says, "At the mountain of God, Horeb, Elijah came to a cave where he took shelter. But the word of the Lord came to him, 'Go outside and stand on the mountain before the Lord. The Lord will be passing by.' A strong and heavy wind was rending the mountains and crushing rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake, there was fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. After the fire, there was a tiny whispering sound. When he heard this, Elijah hid his face in his cloak and went and stood at the entrance of the cave. A voice said to him, 'Elijah, why are you here?' He replied, 'I have been most zealous for the Lord, the God of hosts,' etc. What I want to speak about is, you see, the Lord had told him that the Lord will pass by. And then there was a strong wind, but the Lord was not in the wind. Then there was a strong earthquake. The Lord was not in the earthquake. Then there was fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And then there was a gentle little breeze, and Elijah covered his face because that is where the Lord was. You know, I sometimes watch some other YouTube channels, how many of the pastors preach. They make very powerful speeches and they claim to cure people and bring about healings as if it is their own power they are using for healing. Whereas in my reflections in videos, you will not find that kind of fiery speeches and lots of people clapping and healing and things like that. Because people often think that God is present only when there are miracles taking place or when there are huge events taking place, or he is there when in things like earthquake and fire and wind, because God is mighty and God is great, so he should be present in all those things. But here in this first book of Kings, as Elijah stands on the mountain outside the cave, he does not find Lord in the strong wind. He does not find the Lord in the earthquake. He does not find the Lord in fire. But Lord appears to him in gentle wind, in gentle breeze, not even wind, gentle breeze. And as that breeze touches his face, he realizes that the Lord is passing. Actually, often the Holy Spirit is also described in the form of gentle wind, in tongues of fire. So the Holy Spirit comes to us not making big noise and big earthquakes or fire. No, the Lord often, at least as far as my experience goes, the Lord speaks to us in the depth of our hearts, in the silence of our hearts. Many of the preachers, they talk about great things and great healings and great luck and great wealth, etc. My own experience is that the gospel is always talking about being simple, being humble, being loving, being forgiving, and also the Lord's own way of the cross, the Lord's own crucifixion. How many people who were suffering in the gospel, of course, he helped them. So, life is not always grand, bombastic things, but simple things. And in the gospel, of course, the Jesus seems to be very strict today, and he says, if your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body thrown into Gehenna or into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body go into Gehenna. Of course, it does not mean literally that you must cut off your your hand or remove your eyes or cut your tongue if you have done bad. No. What Jesus means is that following him is not an easy task. It requires effort, constant effort. It requires our willpower. It requires our effort to follow him and to follow his commandments. Yes, it is not easy, but the Lord's grace is always there. He appears to us in gentle breeze. He appears to us in simple, mild things. And I wish you all the very best in finding this Lord who appears in gentle breeze. And if you would like to subscribe to this channel, you may please do it now. And I thank you very much and wish you all the very best. Thank you.